Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of Opinions Heard, debut podcast entitled Britney's Great Move and other random topics that for some reason has nothing to do with moving. So, Hot Chocolate, tell us about your journey or your great escape here to LA.
I won't say how old I was.
I understand.
But it was in 2004.
Okay.
It was 2004. And so moved out here. I went to school because I had to have a productive reason of relocating out here. I had to do something and did that. Put myself in debt for no reason. But here I am. 11 years later? Yeah. Oh, wait, longer than that. Let's see, it's about to be 2018. I moved out here July 2004. So yeah, 13 plus years I've been living in Los Angeles.
And you both still enjoy it. You don't want to go anywhere else.
I can't think of anywhere else I would want to go. I may, like we discussed, copy off of you and try New York. I visited New York. Part of it's intimidating, part of it is kind of exciting. I want to do something different. And for me, we haven't discussed this on air, me being a Buddhist, there's a temple, I think there's 2 temples in New York. So that's a big deal for me. So if there's a temple nearby, I could kind of like get by and not go totally cray-cray. So, yeah, LA, but I really hate snow because when I went back to Maryland and it snowed, I did not enjoy it, and I had to ask myself, do I want to return to this? Don't know. LA, the weather compensates for a lot of things. It's a very expensive city to live in. Mm-hmm. New York is probably not that cheap either. When I left Maryland, the sales tax was like 5%. So I'd get my regular junk food meal at McDonald's. I come out here, I'm like, this is $7. Why am I spending $7 for McDonald's? So it took a little bit of adjusting. Mm-hmm. The outrageous speeding tickets. Not a speeding ticket was okay, but I think I got a ticket for running a red light, and it was like $400+, which is Jesus. I feel like shouldn't even be legal. But yeah, so LA, it's like it's seductive. It sucks you in. It's comfortable. And uncomfortable at the same time. It's like an uncomfortable discomfort. That's how it's been for me. It's like you're struggling, but then the palm trees soothe you. You know what I'm saying?
It sort of dries your tears.
Yeah, it kind of dries your tears.
And
then like you have shitty job after shitty low-paying job, and you get treated like shit on each job, but then you can just drive less than 30 minutes away and go to the beach and forget about it, get drunk. So, it's a fine balance.
Well, I think you'll find out with New York too, probably.
Yeah. I just want something different. I mean, I'm so used to this. I was born and raised here. It's honestly nothing to me. And I'm actually happy to get out of here because they have all the construction going on because of the Rams being here now. And then they added, who's going to Orange County? Well, you wouldn't know. But we're getting 2 football teams within the span of a couple years. So it's like, it's getting really impacted and crazy.
And it's just terribly expensive. Like, if you want to invest in real estate, you have to live like 60 miles outside of
out by the tumbleweed.
Mm-hmm.
Or somewhere where if your air conditioning breaks down, you could die.
Yep.
Stuff like that where...
okay, all the way in the valley, where it's 110, so they have fires and all types of stuff. No.
So I don't know how much longer I want to stay here, but I'm kind of in this limbo state where I'm like, where else am I going to go? I don't know. So.
Right.
So I was always thinking about Atlanta, but I just don't really want to do that. But I do have friends that I grew up with in Alabama that actually moved to Atlanta. I had some friends that used to live in Atlanta, but they moved to like Tampa, other parts of Florida. So it would be cool to hang out with them again. We're for Tyler Perry, though. So maybe.
But isn't he from Atlanta? No.
Yes.
Ish, around that area, I think. Yeah. But see, I mean, there's so much, like, it's the South, so there's so much land. It was like, if I'm not mistaken, he, like, bought a whole damn old military base, you know.
Yeah.
And now he turned it into his movie
So, but I
studio.
heard a lot of people are moving into Atlanta. It's not expensive now. We're getting there.
I don't think it's really
They have
expensive
really
because,
nice areas.
Well,
They have
everywhere's
nice
cheap compared to
areas.
LA, isn't it? Well, not
Yeah.
everywhere, but
you know, and then like I said, a certain amount of people go to Atlanta, you know, if you're within that industry, you know, R&B or whatever, maybe
Music.
country. you know,
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I keep forgetting that that's another city to go to for acting. Apparently, like,
You can, because, you know, like, I think they do
but
the Walking
Tyler Perry
Dead.
pretty much runs the show there.
Yeah.
Exactly. He made that possible.
Yeah. Because, you know, everyone was going to, like, to Canada and all like that. Because, like, The Walking Dead, if I'm not mistaken, they filmed that actually in Atlanta, around that area,
Really?
something like that.
Are you still remotely interested in pursuing acting?
I need to revamp a few things.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, I need to get a little, you know, yeah, and then this, and then that there, and then if you do this a little bit, and if you move that over there, move that up.
It depends
move it to
on
the
what
right,
character
and
you're
then it'll
playing.
work.
It depends on what character you're playing.
And like I said, I am okay. I'm okay. I have no problem with, you know, like I said again, what opinions heard, this is opinions from 3 different generations, perspectives, you know, like 20s, 30s, 40s. So me being in my 40s, I have no problem getting older. And I really never had an issue with that. Because even when I hit 30, I was like, okay. Because you're still pretty young, so you're not really thinking about anything. But when I hit my 40s, I was like, okay, I'm 40. Huh. Okay. Then, now I'm like 47. And I was like, oh, crap. You know. Because I look at Facebook, you know, different social media platforms, and I see my friends from when we were growing up, and it's just so interesting that a lot of them are with people that they dated in high school. High school. I see a picture right next to them. If it wasn't that ass was just older, I don't think it was a damn picture when we were in the hallway going to algebra 2. Nope. His ass is in their own damn house now with their little children. Their 20-year-old children running around.
And that's the beauty of moving. No tea, no shade to people who decide that they want to stay local.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good. I mean, you know, people who I talk to who are back in Maryland and they know that my life out here in Los Angeles isn't the best, and they're like, well, you should have never done it, you should have stayed. And I don't feel that way. I feel like, you know, carpe diem, you know, take advantage of opportunities whenever you can.
Yeah.
And I don't think back and like, oh, I would have still been with XYZ if I stayed in Maryland. I don't ever feel that way, you know, like my children are going to the same school that I went to, and I mean that's fine, but I don't necessarily feel like, oh, I wish I had that, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I like, you know, I completely broke away from, I was completely autonomous when I moved out here. And it was sort of like what you're doing, you know. I mean, I know you were she was completely independent. You know, she put herself through school, had a full-time job and all that.
Correct.
But still also at the same time, kind of knowing that that relative is just down the street.
It's some security.
It is that small little security blanket. So when I moved out here,
you had none of that.
I didn't have any of that. You know, the only way to reach out to them was for me, they was like, I will send you a bus ticket to bring your butt back home. And I was like, well, no, I don't want that. One, you know, I didn't, you know, I'm sorry, it's just what parents do, that I told you so. And then that 2, I'm from the South.
Not
and
just parents.
Oh, yes, and everyone, oh, I'm from the South, deep South. Everybody knows your business, or at least they think they do. Oh, my goodness. I know. Oh, I would have jumped off the bridge there in Elba. I wouldn't have died because it's not that high, but still, I would have jumped off the bridge. I would have. But moving out here, I was completely autonomous. I had to, the successes that I had, the failures that I had, I don't know which way this is going that I had, all of that was all on me. And I kind of hate myself that I didn't do it when I was earlier. I kind of was dependent on my parents. So whatever they put me through, I just sort of took it. As a teenager, young adult up to that 18, 19, but when you was like 20, I'm like, okay, I'm grown, but I'm still taking their direction, their very vocal direction, and, sort of, genuflecting to what they want, I get it, they're parents and they're going to want this and that for you. Mm-hmm. But moving out here and the good and the bad and a lot of people, like you have like the Black Dahlia and all like that, it doesn't end well, I could have easily been on Dateline,
Stop.
I'm not comparing myself to the Black Dahlia, but I'm just saying, sometimes it does not end well. Sometimes it does not end well,
God.
I've seen a lot of, my Law and Orders, but, to sort of be in that, okay, I don't know what to do or anything, not knowing a soul when I moved out here, and, you sort of build up to certain things. It's
a character building experience.
Yeah, you went to school here, you put yourself through what you're about to do. It's one of those things that it's just...
I had a distant relative who lived in the area, not very close, like a gajillion miles away, and he helped me out a little bit, helped me get my first car. And I knew one other person who I knew from back in high school, but it's not like she was like, I'm going to hold your hand through the process. I was, pretty much on my own as well. And it is a character building experience because you get to just, discover who you are with all this like outside influence. Mm-hmm. You grow up. Like for me, I had moved straight from my mama's house to living on my own. Mm-hmm. And for me, it don't get more grown than that. You could be 40, 50, 60 years old living with your parents, but there's something about like, even if you're getting a little bit of financial support, but just like, pay these bills, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get to work. It's just something about it, which is definitely a character building experience. And when you're a long distance away from your hometown, that security net isn't there for you. And it's,
True, because I worked, but I was in my 20s, and part of it was probably youth. And so, I was a waiter. I think I was cashier at the Piggly Wiggly, which is like a grocery store. But it was still that lackadaisical type of approach that I had. And part of that, again, was youth. You're young. And so if something happens, you have that recovery time to recover from whatever mess you created. But still, also at the same time, just being there, I had my parents as a cushion, and it was unfair to them because they're doing their best as parents to try to get me through school. And I had cousins that were going and that had graduated that were doing really well. So everyone in the family was rooting for me. But I just, in my head, it just wasn't there. And I don't blame, Alabama for their beliefs or anything, but it was just, all of it was just coming down on me at one time. And so I was like, I just had to get out. And so it was completely unfair on a lot of scales, but I thought I had to do what was best for me, at least at that time, and being that young.
It's good. And the thing about, one thing I'll say is because, you have the nice weather out here, but it's still, I consider LA a concrete jungle with palm trees. It's tough out here. They'll smile in your face, but they will stab you in the back.
Oh no, they'll stab you in the chest.
They may be a little bit, superficially friendly out here. I think New Yorkers tend to be a little bit more forthright. But you learn a few things here about how people will double cross you and stuff like that. They're I would say a little bit more sneaky out here,
We're a
in
lot
the
more
jobs.
shady, like.
Yeah, shady.
We're real shady.
Well, no, that's it would be another topic for it, but, doing the modeling and trying to do the acting and even being in the hotel industry, which is, to me, it's like just a step under the entertainment industry. What is going on now with the whole, the sexual harassment stuff, where everyone is just sort of that. I had that. So there was a thing when I had a modeling gig, everything was done. Mm-hmm. It came on to me, I said no. I was not that I was a Pollyanna, but I was actually dating someone at the time, so I was trying to stay nice and pure. And I said no, and I didn't know. Kick me out, everything. And I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just crying. I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And saying no to him, everything was snatched from me. And it was like, wow. And I'm just out there just like,
Yeah, I was pretty naive too. I moved out here and I realized that, the LA culture tends to be, can you schmooze, brown nose? Are you bubbly?
Yeah. Are
you smiley? That matters more than can you do the job. That's been my experience. Where I was coming from, I may not necessarily like you, but can you do X, Y, and Z? Okay, you're hired.
Yeah.
And I feel like New York is going to be like that, like it won't be too much smiling and stuff. But as a LA girl, like I'm already ready for that. Oh yeah, she's from LA and I'm going to be all bubbly and happy and everybody's going to be like, girl, what are you smiling about? So I'm a little nervous.
But you kind of have a leg up because, usually in office politics, it's a game, and what I learned the hard way is, you don't take people at face value. Mm-mm. And you know how to play the game, and so hey, to me it's a win-win for you. I came in here keeping it too damn real, and it took me several terminations, and we're gonna have to let you go, and you're not enthusiastic enough for me to realize, like,
well, you didn't do the hair.
I didn't do the hair flip.
You didn't do your hair,
I didn't do. I didn't crack at corny ass jokes. I didn't do none of that, and then I was like, so I'm finally getting it a little bit. Getting it.
Yeah, you're getting it. Yeah, but it's interesting. But New York, I like but I think you're going to be okay because working in the industry, the hospitality industry, what you were doing, you were seeing people from different cultures coming in and walks of life and how they were and their personalities and their little nuances that they had and how they would deal with things. And so you saw that firsthand, and even though you're still young, you're not like 20 going there, you have a foundation. And like I said, I don't want to kick LA in any way whatsoever. LA is a difficult place to stay in. It's just the facade that some people have, because it's like, I have this and all like that, and yes, I'm an actor. And it's like, no, you're not an actor. You're trying to become an actor. You work right over here at Starbucks. You met him too? You met him too?
Yeah, I did.
You met him too?
Several times.
You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. And I think in New York, they don't necessarily have that. You might have the expectation. You might have that.
You might get I'm grinding,
but I think
XYZ industry.
You
as
see them
to
hustling. To me, it just seems like you see from what I saw. Like I said, New York scares the hell out of me. So what I see on TV, unless they lie to me on TV again, that hustle. I gotta go to this audition. I gotta go to this. I gotta go to that. I gotta go sing. I gotta go dance. I gotta go to this. I gotta do that. I gotta go Broadway, and then I gotta do this. I gotta be an axe murderer the next time. It's just more like they're doing.
it's fast. It's fast paced, but
or it's the business side of it that ain't got nothing to do with entertainment, because LA is really entertainment.
Yeah,
it's just
and
entertainment.
It seeps in. And my experience has been it seeps into other sectors. It's like, I'm working in a hospital. Why do I have to be Susie Sunshine here? Why do I have to still play the game? I just feel like entertainment's the belly of the beast in terms of the shadiness and the cutthroat life, but it kind of spills over into other sectors. From my experience, me being a temp agent, a temp extraordinaire. Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, New York's gonna be great. You can't go wrong with New York. It's just not gonna do anything but good for you. So.
Yeah, like I said, when I come visit it in the summertime.
Summer is very hot.
Well, see, I'm from the South, so I can deal with the heat.
I can deal with the humidity.
I can deal with the heat and the humidity. It is that cold. Girl, I can't deal with absolute zero.
I prefer cold than hot.
Oh no, I can't deal with no both.
You say that now. That's what you say now.
Because like you can literally get butt naked and still be like sweating profusely.
That's true.
But like if it's cold, you just bundle up. You be alright.
You just, I bet you won't want to leave the house though.
That's true, but I could turn the heater on and I'll be in my little hot cocoa and I'll be happy about my life. But if it's hot, I could be dying standing over the damn
Girl, do we have an air
freezer.
conditioner?
Yes, I have an air conditioner.
Oh, good, because it's going to get hot there. I mean,
I do.
So I was like, well, you're going to have to come to my hotel. I can be dealing with this heat.
I still might come there, even my AC. I gotta keep my bill down.
Well, this has been a very interesting discussion about
moving and
relocating,
all the nuances involved with it.
If you can follow.
If you
can follow.
Well, it's three of us giving our opinions, and obviously we want to hear your opinions too. Did you move from a small place to a large place to a smaller place, different country, whatever? It would be great to hear your opinions. Are you in the same boat that we are? Do you have any advice for our girl that's going over to the East Coast that thinks she can just wrap up in a shawl and drink hot chocolate and not freeze our butt off? Tell she's from LA. You can tell she's from LA, y'all.
Move? What is motivating you to move? We'd like to hear that as well. Where did you move from? Where are you moving to? What has your experience been like? How long did you last in said town?
Like networking techniques that you did. How did that work for you? And like I said, again, this is more of a generation perspective.
Right.
We want your opinions to be heard because a lot of that, unfortunately, now people's opinions aren't heard. They're not respected, especially if you're younger, and especially even if you're older. It's not, people don't really listen to you or want to hear what you have to say because they think you're a little conundrum. Mm-hmm. It's like you're just...
Or technology, the old heads who did the move didn't have the technology.
No, I did not have Siri to tell me which way to go.
Exactly.
I'm not a spring chicken either, but I'm thinking about technology. What was it like? What are the pros and cons of the technology we have now as opposed to back in the day? When it comes to relocating, finding a place to stay, I relied on Craigslist and Westside Rentals. And now we have...
I had all the apartment apps on my phone. And then I had Yelp for restaurants, GPS. Google is like my best friend.
We have Airbnb now.
If I had to. I know some people that did relocate that used Airbnb for their first couple of months when they couldn't find a place. So I guess there's a lot of different perspectives. And then also remember that you can look at our separate blogs so you can get our full stories. We'll do a post.
Exactly, which is going to be on opinionsheard.com and also thegenerationperspective.com. And also look at our merchandise, which will be coming soon. And again, we want you to join up as members and we want to hear your voice. Because, as always, you should be heard.
And this is Hot Chocolate, Pretty Badass, and Nasty Tea signing out.